And welcome back to Inside the Valley on this Sunday morning. Well, the folks from the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention are here on the show to talk about their second annual motorcycle ride that they have coming up here. Talk a little bit more about the foundation itself and their event. We have two professionals on the show. We have Melissa Hinojosa Zamora and Elena Sandoval. Thank you ladies both so much for being here.
Thank you for having us here.
It's my pleasure. And before we start talking about the event itself, let's first of all talk about the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention and what it is that you do.
Well, the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, it's a national foundation. The mission is to save lives and bring hope to those affected by suicide. And that happens to be both of us. I lost my father to suicide as a child, and Elena
I've lost my nephew to suicide.
Okay. Now, there are a lot of different factors why people would get to the point of wanting to take their own lives. Do you kind of guide people if they're feeling, you know, like, hey, I'm depressed, or certain things happen in their life, you kind of counsel them, or?
What we do is, if they are in crisis, of course, I always will have them call the crisis line. But if they are not in crisis, I will, you know, refer them to get resources within our own resources, or if not, I will reach out to others that I do know that can assist with that.
Right.
But the foundation mainly, we're not a crisis center. So when we do provide resources, it's that to, you know, like help survivors know that they're not alone in their journey.
Okay.
And
so you kind of help out the survivors, or?
Right, and what the foundation also tries to do is to try to create a culture that's smart about mental health, which means get the help that you need, try to break down that stigma. And so events like this that we do, we have a community walk that we do in November. That's how we started. It will bring a lot of these survivors together in a comfortable forum where they know that they're not alone in their journey. Because I think a lot of us spent a big part of our lives alone in this journey, as myself. So now that we're a chapter, our goal is to bring the awareness year-round, not just once a year like we were doing. So that's why we have this spring event. So the spring event, which is a motorcycle ride, we're able to bring people together a little more often, you know, in a different sector or demographic of people. So last year when we had a motorcycle ride, we found that a lot of people had never heard of us, did not know we were a chapter.
Oh, wow.
And so I think I met about 3 new families of survivors that had not heard of us, even though we had been here since 2012. So I guess the purpose of our events is, of course, fundraising, right? But also to bring the survivors together and just remember the ones that we've lost and honor them.
And you said something earlier, you know, being a survivor, sometimes you can go into that dark place, you know, and it must be difficult to reach out because you don't want to do anything. You're kind of feeling alone. I don't know if depression kind of kicks in or not. But basically you're encouraging people who are survivors, family members, to all come together, and probably the best way to kind of move on and maybe come out of that dark place would be to talk about it.
Correct.
You know, talk about it.
Because that really helped me, myself, you know, losing my nephew to suicide at the age of 16. You know, it was kind of very, very hard for our family. And coming out of, you know, talking and seeing that you're not alone, that there is a lot of people out there, you know, that are survivors, and it's helped me a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I have to ask you too, when you guys do these events, and it's basically mostly survivors who are there, who are kind of interacting with each other, sharing their stories, talking about it. Are you encouraging other people who are survivors as well, who are still kind of in that, you know, maybe that dark hole, to come out too and say, hey, it's okay to come out?
Oh, of course. Yes. I mean, one of our things that's like we talk about is that your brain is an organ, you know, and if it's not working properly, you know, there's nothing wrong with getting help. You know, you would go get help if, you know, your kidney was failing or anything else, you know. But it's just that stigma that we just need to start to break down, and it's happening. It's just, we just need to keep on with our efforts.
Would you say that suicide rates nationally are on the rise?
I don't know if they're on the rise. I know that in Texas we lose someone every 3 hours,
Right. Wow.
and it is the 10th leading cause of death overall.
Now, are most of these suicides with veterans who have PTSD, or are they with younger children, younger kids?
Pretty much every.
Because there's so many different things nowadays. It could be bullying, it could be PTSD that the veteran has, or it could just be.
Yeah, and what we have learned through research is that there's not one cause for someone deciding to take their life. There's many factors that go into it.
Right.
And so the brain's a very complicated organ, and so I think it's very important for us to understand that when someone is in that dark place we talk about, there is a lot of factors contributing to why someone would decide to take their life.
Sure.
But what we also have learned is that there is programming that we have developed and we are able to present to educate people on how to recognize these signs that maybe a lot of us didn't know to look at before.
Real quickly, what are some of those signs, would you say?
It could be anywhere. Some of them could be that they are withdrawn,
Right.
angry, maybe not grooming themselves as they usually did before, or it could be complete opposite. You know, I think it's individualized because you know that person and you know what their normality is, and then something that's out of the norm. You know, and a lot of times if you do feel maybe I could be wrong, it wouldn't hurt to still, get them help, because I think, the best scenario is that you are wrong.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. Now let's talk about this event that you have coming up here. It's the second annual motorcycle ride that you have coming up here. The first one, obviously probably a big success for a lot of people who came together. When is it? Where is it? And is there a cost for people to get involved with it?
It's on Sunday, May the 7th.
Okay.
And it starts at 8 o'clock in the morning, and we will be having it at the VFW in Edinburg.
Okay.
The American Legion.
American Legion.
Okay. And you're encouraging everybody who has a motorcycle.
We encourage anybody who wants to participate, not necessarily if you don't have a motorcycle, you're still welcome to come.
Okay.
Motorcycle ride is, the riders is $25.
Okay.
And they're, if they have any riders with them, it's $10. It does include a t-shirt and a meal.
Oh, okay.
And we encourage anybody who would like to come, more than glad to join us as well.
And I noticed too that the kids are free as well.
Yes.
You're encouraging families to come out to this event.
Yeah, we are a kid-friendly event. Suicide does not discriminate, and it's a part of my family, so it's something that I have to talk to with my kids. So I believe the conversation needs to start early, and this is a perfect way to bring on the conversation.
Absolutely. And something else I saw there, riders, not if you're the driver, but if you're a passenger.
A passenger.
It's only $10.
$10.
And if you don't have a motorcycle, but you are a survivor, you can go out there because you never know. You might find a driver or that says, hey, you want to be a passenger on my bike and participate? You never know, right? So you're really encouraging a lot of people to come out there for sure.
Yes, we have live music and a raffle, and it'll be a really great experience.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we're going to post some more information here on your screen. You can call either of these phone numbers here, 956-369-7306 or 956-460-5389. Ladies, I want to thank you for being on the show on this Sunday morning and spreading some very important information about suicide prevention. Thanks again.
Thank you so much.
Folks, don't go anywhere on this Sunday morning. When we come back, we're going to be talking to the folks from the Comfort House about a great event that they have coming up. Don't go anywhere.